It's the middle of January and I'm about to take my Christmas trees down. I have one in here and then I have one in my living room, and I am kind of sad about it because I usually leave them up until the end of January. A lot of people give me grief about it, but when I was a kid I always wanted the Christmas tree to stay up until my birthday, which is at the end of January. So as soon as I was an adult I was like, I have the power now. I can keep the Christmas trees up. I've found that having them up and having all of the lights and the colors really helps with seasonal depression this time of year. But next year is going to be really awesome because I have a tree that a friend gave me that she was downsizing from. It's a 9-foot Christmas tree. We had one when we first moved in because it was in the attic, but next year I get to have a 9-foot tree in my living room again, and I'm so excited. But there is a reason I am taking the trees down a little bit early, and I'm going to show you. Hey, Toasty. Hi. Look at you. So this is the room that my husband uses as his gym for his workouts. And this little guy is Toast. Hey, buddy. Can I give you some scritches? We going all the way up? Okay. So Toast has been here for about a week and he's still giving a lot of mixed messages. He's on my lap right now getting some love. He's a sweet little boy, but sometimes he randomly gets overstimulated and he'll get off and he'll hiss at me, but he's still learning that he can trust us. And it's kind of nice to have a more affectionate cat because I have my old kitty cat and she's not very nice. But this is a good room for him to decompress because it's just where my husband keeps all his workout equipment, and the other cat can't come in here, but also we don't have any carpet in here right now because we're in the middle of remodeling it, so there's nothing that he can tear up. It's a few days later and I was going to try to record a video for my Kickstarter campaign, and I cannot because I cannot find my tripod, and I don't know how. I lost an entire tripod, but I don't know where to set up my camera to record anything. But I just got things in the mail. This week is my birthday week, so I've got birthday gifts coming and I'm gonna take a second to open these up. But I only have a little bit of time left before I have to go pick up my daughter from school, and I wanted so badly for this to be a really productive week. And unfortunately the problem that I am now running into is we are supposed to get so much snow, and this area is so badly equipped for winter weather that I have no idea what else I need to do to prepare. Okay, so the first one is a gift to myself because I have not had sunglasses since I started wearing prescription glasses, and this is incredible. I can see, and in the sun I will be able to see. And then the other thing is I got some new glasses. These have a dragon on them. That seems more me, and then they're purple, and that seems more me. And I just never really liked the glasses that I had. They just didn't feel right for my face, and I was not satisfied with them. And I think I like these a lot better, even though they're just like a little cheap pair, until next year when my insurance will replace the really expensive ones. But I think I'm going to need to like heat these up and reshape them a little bit because they're not like the most well fitted at the moment. But I think I like this shape and this color a lot better for me. Okay, and then the really big package was a teacup for my teacup collection, and I am just, oh, it's so cute. It's the 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗃𝗏𝗃 teacup with 𝗃𝗏𝗃 on it. Look how cute it is. It's just really adorable. And it's like this mint green. It doesn't pick up very well on camera, but it's a really pretty minty green. And it's got 𝗃𝗏𝗃's name and 𝗃𝗏𝗃. I've got such a big messy pile of books on my desk right now, but I need to get this airbrushed so I can show what the sprayed edges are going to look like. So I'm gonna wrap this up in paper and get it ready for airbrush work. I have to try to do that today because this is going to be the last warm-ish day that we get before we have a big ice storm. So I hope my power stays on for me to launch this campaign on Monday. So this is what I had to do for each and every book that I airbrushed for the last campaign. This is easel paper. I got this from IKEA. So I've got these 2 rolls of paper and I need to tape this front and back. This is what protects the cover when I'm doing the airbrushing. So it goes into the front cover, like all the way into the crease. And then it gets folded over. This gets taped down. And I flip it over and I do the same thing on the back. So there's still a little gap like right here, and I'm going to need to tape this off manually to make sure that I'm getting only the edges. What's up, Mr. Toast? No, you don't need to get on the desk. Trying to remember how we did this the last time we did this. When I did this before, I had my sister helping me and my friend Raven. I have to try to get it as close to the book block as I can. And then the corners get just a little more tape. And because this is painter's tape, it won't damage the cover at all when I have to pull it back off after the airbrushing is done. So if anyone wonders like what you're paying for, for my Kickstarter, you're paying for me to hand wrap, and hand airbrush every single book. All right. Not bad, ready to go. So this next is going to go between my clamps. My husband made me some pieces of wood for my book press. You can see they've got all the orange from doing the airbrushing for the Assassin's Bride, and these are really just rather dusty because they've been sitting on the floor. These are just chunks of plywood that have been prepared for this purpose. But now the book is sandwiched between them, so I can get clamps, put clamps on all 4 corners, and it's going to squeeze the pages together really tight so that I can properly airbrush. This has been the most ridiculous several weeks. I started filming like when we were getting ready for the ice storm, and then we got the ice storm and we were iced in for 12 days before our roads were clear. So for 12 days we had concerns with electricity, we had no school, no mail running, the grocery stores had no food. Fortunately, I had prepared well and stocked everything up. So then I was like, today will be the day. Today is the day that I can sit down and I can finally start working on my next book. So I was on my way home from taking my daughter to school and I thought I smelled coolant in the garage, and I was like, that's kind of weird. So I like look under my car, look in the engine, everything's clean. So I'm like, okay, I'll check the radiator whenever the car cools off. So I wait a couple of hours, it's about lunchtime, it's almost time to go pick up my daughter from school, and I look inside the radiator reservoir and there is nothing. The reservoir is bone dry. Where has all of my antifreeze gone? So my husband is coming home early from work. He's going to stop at AutoZone and get me a jug of antifreeze and some distilled water, and we are going to head to the mechanic to drop it off and try to find out what has happened to my car. So, why is it always something? I can't afford a new car. Why is this happening now? So I guess I will not be going to my postponed writer meetup this week because we're going to just have one car for this week. And I'm so unhappy because I just had the car serviced in November and they were so enthusiastic about like how good of condition it was in. One of the mechanics wanted to buy my car because it was in such good shape.
And I'm just, why? They told me when I had it serviced, they were like, oh yeah, this is in really excellent condition. This is gonna keep going with no problems for, 5 years or so, no issues, maybe even 10 years because the mileage is so low. And I was like, okay, great. The oil is still clear. It has not become the forbidden chocolate milkshake. So I don't think it's leaking into the engine. I don't think it's the head gasket, which is good because that would be a very expensive repair. But I also don't think it's the heater core because it's not leaking into the cab. So I don't know. If it was a cracked hose or something, you would think that it would be leaking antifreeze into the garage, but there's not been any liquid under the car. So this is a fun mystery to try to unravel. And I don't know, is it too early to be looking on like Auto Trader and Edmunds to see what I can find and be braced for just in case? I really can't afford a new car right now, but maybe I should start planning. This was actually like one of my big publishing goals, was to try to sell enough books to be able to afford a newer vehicle because my car is 19 years old. I love my car. It was my dream car. But I need to have something reliable, and if we have reached the point where there's suddenly going to be catastrophic failures, it might be time to let go. Okay, next day, car has been dropped off for repair. I got my diagnostic back. I've got my emotional support boba for the moment. It's always something. But it was kind of funny because when I pulled up, the mechanics recognized me. I didn't have an appointment. I was just kind of hoping that they would be able to work it in. So I pulled up, and like the service manager and some of the mechanics came running over, and they're like, oh no, what happened? Because I had just had so much work done in November, and they were all fawning over my car because I've kept it really well. But no amount of keeping something well can prevent the deterioration that comes just from age. So I think this, unfortunately, might be the beginning of that point of no return where no matter what I do, the car is never really going to be reliable again because we're at the point where stuff is just going to start breaking from age. So that means I'm going to really need to up my game this year. I'm going to need to really figure out how to push my sales and get my books moving because I need to buy a car. That said, today's priority is going to be working on art. My Kickstarter campaign for the Spymaster's prize ends on Friday. I need to do artwork for the vellum overlay, and I need to finish the portrait for 𝗙𝗀𝘀. So I've been charging my iPad this morning while I took care of business. I'm going to grab that, and I am going to work on artwork for the campaign because that needs to be the thing that I get ready next. So this is the character portrait art that I'm working on, and I'm trying to add like a little more definition to the hair. I had actually taken it all the way to color, and like this side here I haven't really worked on yet. But after I had it colored, her hair just didn't really seem, I don't know, as lively as I wanted. So I'm kind of going back in, and I think I just didn't push the values far enough. So I've got like a really dark gray here, and I'm kind of like going in and drawing like some additional shadows and definition for her hair there, just to make it look a little deeper and a little bit more dynamic. And hopefully that'll give it the look that I want. For some reason, she didn't turn out quite as realistic as the portrait I did for Cass. The portrait for Cass is like really realistic. Let me, this one. He's like, this one turned out so good, and I'm so happy with this, and I'm not sure why, but I draw men better, and there's not a lot I can do about that. So I'm just going to do what I can here to, you know, add some more depth and some interest to this, and break up some of these curls into smaller shapes, because I think they're just kind of too, I don't know, homogeneous right now. But I'm using a hair brush. This is just one of the default brushes that comes with Procreate, which is the app that I use to draw.
And I'm just going to work on this for a while and hope that my mechanic calls me back soon. After this, I'm going to work on the vellum overlay, which my sister really needs the line art soon so that she can start the coloring for it. That'd be a good thing for me to get done today. So this is what it looks like now after I have gone over all of the edges, like the ends of my little brush marks, and added some softness, like I just kind of smudged them a little bit to make them less harsh. This is what it looked like before, and this is with the additional contrast, and I think this is a little bit better. It's still not perfect, but this is probably as good as it's going to get. And I'm trying to remind myself that, you know, I'm working like zoomed in like this, and I'm like, oh, that's not looking very good, but this, for all the effort that I have put into this is going to be like this wide on the card. So it's probably okay at this point. I don't think I can make it any better than this. This is just going to be, you know, another step in my learning phases as an artist. I need to practice girl faces, I guess, because I also noticed that when I did the portraits for Thea and Gil turned out a lot better than Thea did, but that's just a weakness I've discovered in my art. Now it's going to be time to work on the vellum overlay. And nobody has asked, but just in case anyone was curious, yes, this is a hard metal nib on my Apple Pencil stylus. This is the ballpoint tip that comes from AstroPad. It's a really nice paper-like texture, so you know, you hear my pencil like scritching around. I'm not damaging the screen. It's got a paper texture cover on it, and this makes it feel a lot more like drawing with a pencil, and I really like that textured feedback. Okay, so this was the original like rough idea that I had for the vellum overlay to put at the scene where they're camping out, and it's a really sweet scene, and you know, it's like they're not touching except for him having his arm around her, but I'm not in love with this angle of it. I thought that if I did like, you know, like a top-down view of them like huddled up in the tent, that it would be, you know, easier to have it fill up the page, but I'm thinking I might do it from like the side and just like kind of have like the tent and like soft focus background behind them or something. I don't know, I'm not loving this, so I think I'm gonna scrap this and I'm gonna try something else. I was looking at stock photos, and I think maybe something more like this angle, you know, and then there'll be like just like the tent or whatever, like soft light, maybe like their packs piled up behind them or something. I think that might work okay. It'll be a little bit different from the overlay that I did for the first book, but I think it'll be cute. Okay, here we go. I found this stock photo that I liked a lot better. I think that'll be cute. So I've just started like roughly sketching in the shapes here, and I'm gonna need to spend a lot of time refining this, and I think it's an okay start, but this will be like the blanket here, kind of gathered up, and then let's see, the pillow. So this will be kind of squishy. I actually don't think they even have pillows in that scene, but we're gonna roll with it. And I'm going to see if I can turn this into something. I don't think that I'll be able to record the whole process because I don't really have a good setup to record myself drawing. I'm just gonna do my best, and I'll insert like the time lapse at the end or something. Okay, so now I'm in the car. I'm in my husband's car, but I think this is what the overlay is going to end up looking like, and it's going to be like early morning with sun coming in through right here where the tent flaps are kind of open a little bit, and yeah, I think that'll work out. I just have to do lines on this now over the top of the sketch, and then I can send it to my sister. Okay, so it's getting there. I just got to do the pillow and like the rest of her face and hair.
And this is, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I feel like every time I draw her, she looks different. But I don't know. I'm just refining my art style and practicing drawing women, and that'll just have to be good enough. It's good enough. I'm doing my best. So I think this is what we've got. I'm going to send this to my sister, and I guess she'll get to start coloring, and yeah, moving on. So here I am, back in the car. It is Thursday afternoon, and it was so expensive. Now I'm having so much anxiety about needing to get a newer car probably sooner than I anticipated, because once things start going wrong, they tend to cascade, and I cannot afford to pour tons and tons of money into fixing this car. So me and my husband are going to talk about financial stuff after dinner tonight, and we're going to see if we can figure out a game plan. But right now, all I can really do is focus on trying to get books selling, because my goal for this year is still trying to figure out some marketing that works for me. And now it's kind of going to be like a sink or swim situation where I have to figure out some marketing that'll work for me. So I've got a proof copy of one of my books, the new one, The Cinders and the Crown, and I had a friend go through this, and she did like a content poll for me. So I'm going to sort through that and see if I can make some social media content to market this book, because it's one that can be read alone, so it is an entry point to my work. And that was, a big deal for me last year, was establishing more entry points to my work, because it's cool to have 2 finished 6-book series, but that means that out of 12 books, I can only really market 2 to get people started. And that doesn't go as far as I need it to. So tomorrow my Kickstarter campaign ends, and I still need to talk about that whole experience, and I just have not had time. I really wanted to do it this time, and it just, with all the weather and everything, it didn't work out. But I'm hoping to do a pretty deep dive into what I did for it in the aftermath of the campaign. So right now I'm just going to try to sit here and hope my blood pressure comes down a little bit, because I'm so stressed it's giving me a headache. It's also giving me a whole lot of silver hair. Look at how much silver hair I have. All of a sudden you can tell I've been so stressed lately. I think it was last year. I'm blaming last year because so much went wrong last year. But yeah, that's the chaos of the current situation, and it's kind of funny how little of a writer's life actually involves writing. It feels like I do everything else. I'm doing the art, I'm doing the marketing, I'm trying to just stay afloat in my daily household life. But you never know, maybe I'm just getting all of this year's problems out of the way early, and I'll have smooth sailing from here out. I'll check in next time with some Kickstarter thoughts. Wish me luck. Hope that I don't have any more devastating car problems, and I'll see you next time. Bye.